Let's make a third version of Digital Derby. So let's go ahead and save this baby. Save as, and we will change. We'll open up the Digital Derby 2. Go into, just to be safe, go into these three bars. Click open. Find the Digital Derby 2 file. Open that up. Then let's go and save it exactly as it is, and call it Digital Derby 3. Then hit save. Down here, let's update the comments, the notation there. And what I think we'd like to try this time is maybe adding a scoreboard. So I'm going to go ahead, let's go ahead and as a comment, just say adding a scoreboard. I'd like to do more, but we'll see how much time it takes to add the scoreboard. So right now, let's run the game, and I think we already included something that speeds the game up after a certain amount of time. Let's see if that's true. Yep, there it goes, kicked into higher gear. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I'm having fun. But the only bummer is that, I mean, if I crash into a blue car, it doesn't do anything. There's nothing wrong. So let's go ahead. I don't, oh, you know what? I don't know that it really is a scoreboard that we're going to be adding. I think what it is we're going to be adding a lives counter. That's more of it. And eventually what I'd like to do is add a timer that can be used as your score, but I don't know if we're ready for that right now. So let's go in and let's add the, I think it'll be relatively easy to add a lives counter. And here's what we got to do. By the way, I'm just adding a bunch of lines to the bottom so that the code's up nice and high. In the on step function, which is a big loop that just keeps repeating 30 times a second, excitingly, and we want to detect if our car, which is called player, hits a car, which is the enemy. So if player dot hits shape and enemy, not enemy, car, then we'd like to change the number of lives. So we're going to need a lives display. So up here at the top, we will say lives equals label. And since we got a lot of black space up there, we can just make it white text. And I'd like to put it kind of like over here, I'm thinking, on the right-hand side near the top. So the X value we'll say will be something like 350. The Y will be something like 50. And we'll see if we like that. We'll play around with that. Then what else? We got to have text. That'll be the first thing. So what we'd like to do is I'm just going to put in maybe the number 5 to start with. And you'll notice that I don't put any quotes around it. A lot of times when I make a label, I put quotes around the text, and I really do have to. But when it comes to a number in a label, I don't have to put quotes around it. And since I want to do math on this number, it's best if I don't put quotes around it. So no quotes. Next, well, let's make the size so it's big enough so we can see it. So I'm going to set maybe 30, and we'll see if we like that. And let's set the color to be white because we got that black background. And let's see how that looks. I'll just go ahead and hit run. And we've got an error. Oh, because I've got an if statement down here, nothing after it. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and then PASS, and I can always come back. Let's hit run now. There we go. And now we can see the score. 350 is further than I wanted it to go. I think I want more like 300. So let's go 300. And what else? I want it a little bit higher up. So 50 is not quite low enough. Is too low on the screen. Maybe let's go 20 and see how that goes. Oops. And run. And that's looking better. Okay, now what I'd like to do is I'd like for that number to go down every time I hit a car. So let's try something like we want when we hit, we're gonna do lives dot value, and we will do minus equals 1. So we will lose a life every time we hit a car. I'm kind of curious how this goes. Let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and run. Let's go ahead and hit a vehicle that's coming at us. Here we go. And, ooh, I lost a lot of lives very quickly there. So I wonder how we can fix that. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's make it so that before we decrease the number of lives, let's move the car that we hit out of the way. So what I'll do is we're going to say car.centerY equals, and we'll set it back to whatever it was at the beginning. It was initially, looks like initially 0, I think, right there, 0. Let's give that a try and see how that goes. So we'll set the car.centerY to 0, and let's see what happens here. And I hit the car. Ooh, look at that. I just went down by 1 life. You like that? Neat, huh? Okay. So now, now I can go and race, and the thing can go faster and faster. And now I have some kind of consequence if I start running into other people's cars. That seems appropriate, don't you think? Okay, so anyways, I'm having some fun. This is getting to be kind of cool. And I'm only 6 minutes in. And some of the other videos I made were longer. So I think we might just try to, let's add a timer. Add a timer that could be used as a score. So how are we going to do that? Timer. One of the things that I'd like is if we have a timer, like let's say we have a number over here on the left. Let's take a look. Let's go. Oh, by the way, you'll notice that my lives went to -1. That's something that we can work on fixing too. I don't know if we're going to fix it in this video, but one thing to consider is after, let's see, when you get to 0 lives, end game. Don't you think that's a good idea? Maybe we'll see if we can get to that in this video. Anyways, we would like to add a timer, and we want the timer to change about once every second. And we already know that in OnStep, that repeats 30 times a second. So remember way back when we were checking to see what the car speed was, and we wanted to speed it up every so many seconds? And we ended up using this 300 to get us about 10 seconds between speed ups. Well, we can do something similar. We're going to say if app.time %, but this time we want this to happen every second. So what we'll do is we'll say 30 equals 0. And again, just to remind you what that cryptic thing does, it's some cool math actually. But just to remind you what that does is % means take the remainder after we divide. And if I take app.time and I divide it by 30 and I get 0, that'll mean that the time is some multiple of 30. And that's when we'd like to change our clock that is going by seconds. Because the time for the CMU environment is it changes 30 times a second. So we need to count its ticks 30 times before we say a second has passed. All right, sorry for the long explanation. Let's go in and we need a timer, which we don't have as a label. So let's go timer equals label. And we'll put this more on the left. 300 worked for the right. Let's see here. Oh, we got to put in a value. We'll start with 0 time. And on the right, we said 300. So on the left, we're going to say 100. That'll be about 1/4 of the way. And we'll put it at the top at 20, just like with the lives. And we'll set the size equal to 30. And we'll set the fill equal to white. And let's take a look and see what that looks like. There's an error. Oh, I didn't finish this. So let's go ahead and put pass so we can test this. And I hit run. And yay, now I've got a timer and I've got lives keeper, and all I got to do is write some code that'll make that timer actually change. And that's going to be super easy. What we'll do is after we check to see if app.time, by the way, that % symbol is known as the mod operator. If app.time mod 30, is equal to 0, then we will take the timer dot value and we will do plus equals 1. There we go. And now we should have a running clock along with some kind of keeper of lives. And guys, you can go and you can customize this all you want. You know, if you want the speed up to occur more frequently, or if you want the speed up to be a higher or a smaller number, you can get in there and change that around. This code, that's the beauty of learning how to code, is not just taking what you're given, but going in and making it your own. All right, anyways, so we're pretty close to achieving the goals that I wanted to achieve. We're still only at 10 minutes and 40 seconds into the video or so. So maybe we could add one more little thing. I'm trying to think, what would it be? We talked about when you get to 0 lives, end the game. I think it's possible we could do something like that. Let's see here. Let's do player dot game over, and we'll initially say that's false, and then what we'll do is maybe we won't do any of this unless I'm going to do a tab. Oh, by the way, what I just did is I highlighted all these lines of code and then I hit the tab one time, and that moves everything over one tab. Okay, then what we'll do is we'll say if player dot game over is equal to false. In other words, if the game's still going, then we can do all these things. I don't know that I love this mechanism where I put an if above all the code, because I might like to have a lot of code under that, and then it gets kind of messy if I have all those levels. But for now, we don't have that much code, so this will work. All right, now, what else would we like to do? If the player game over is true, let's see here. So we'll do an else down here. So if player.gameover is not false but true, then we should probably print some kind of message like game over. And you can make that fancy or make it say something else. What do I want to do? That should be in the middle of the screen. Let's do, I guess we'll stick to the white. Let's do 200, 200, and we'll do size equals 30 and fill equals white. Okay, and let's see what that looks like. So I'm just going to let these cars hit me. And let's see what happens when game ends, if we like it. Oh, something is wrong. Okay. Oh, I have no if statement to check to see if the game should be over. So let's see here. What's happening is we are updating the score down where? Here. So we're using the time as a score, so I just added a little comment to remind myself that this is the part of the code that updates the time/score. Okay, so what I'd like to do is I'd like to check to see what the, oh, that's not even what I want. I want to check lives. And here's where we decrease the lives. So we need some kind of if statement to check to see has lives gotten to 0. And I guess that doesn't matter where I put it, but I'm going to say if lives.value equals 0, then we'll do something. And what we should do is this right here. We should go ahead and show this label. Oh, I know. Okay, maybe we'll show this label first. There we go. And then what we'll do is we will set game over to be true. So player.gameover equals true. And now everything should stop. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Hit 1 car, hit 2 cars, hit 3, 4, and hopefully this is our last car. Oh, and then everything stopped. I can still move the car back and forth, but everything else stopped. We can see our score, 8 seconds. We've got the game over message. Now, it won't look that great if it's right on top of a dash, but, you know, we could always put a rectangle behind it. Anyways, I think we did pretty good. 14 minutes and 50 seconds in. I think we've got all the elements of a pretty fun little digital derby game. Now, don't get me wrong. There are lots of cool things we could add to it. If you go to YouTube and you look at the video of digital derby, you'll see that they have a shifter, and sometimes usually there's two cars that are coming at you, and you have to avoid one and then the other. And your car itself goes up and down and moves up and down in the playing field. So I think there's a bunch of neat little things that we could do to make this more interesting, but you did pretty good. Now, don't forget, make sure that you save this as Digital Derby 3, and call me on over when you get the code working. Show it to me. I'd like to see that you did it, and I guess that's it. Have fun.